joined today by Senator Tracy Pennycuick. You recently released a statement saying you'll lead the call for more funding for home health care. Can you tell us what home health care is?
So we have about 13,000 medically fragile children, adolescents, and adults in the state of Pennsylvania. And those individuals require care from a nurse. And obviously at different levels, but the best place for them to receive that care is in their homes. And unfortunately, in this last budget, that increase was not in the budget for those providers that provide in-home health care for those fragile individuals. And I want to see that changed.
Why does the industry need more funding? Is there something that they're missing out on or lacking in?
All the states around us pay so much more. And this group of individuals called shift nurses have not seen an increase in over 10 years. And with COVID and with everything that's happened in the last couple of years, if you're in a hospital, you've seen huge increases in your pay. But if you're a home healthcare provider to the medically fragile, you haven't seen a pay raise in 10 years. And we need to change that because we know that if individuals receive care in their home rather than a hospital or an institution, overall that care is less expensive. And we want those people to be able to stay in their homes. So this just it's common sense. It's good practice to make sure that people are able to stay with their families in their homes, cared for where they're most comfortable, and not in an institution or hospital.
How would a pay raise for at-home nurses benefit the industry as a whole?
I think it would stabilize the industry. Right now, what happens is the in-home nursing staff recognizes that they could go to an institution, they could go to a hospital and make more money. So the turnover is very high. And with medically fragile individuals, you want them to have consistency in their health care. So by increasing their pay across the board, we would see some stability in that pool of employees, and it would be a higher level of care just because of the familiarity that healthcare provider had with their client.
How did you get involved with fighting for funding for at-home care?
I had a couple of constituents that made me aware, and one in particular whose daughter is cared for at home, and she really, just listening to her talk about the struggles of getting quality care in her home to take care of her daughter. And when she was sick, her daughter had to go to a hospital because she could not supplement that in-home care. So that really kind of put it on my radar. And then in talking to nurses that work in this industry, not having a pay raise in 10 years is insane. I mean, when you think about how valuable they are to the family and to their client, they become part of the fabric of that family of support for that individual. So I think it's high time we look at bringing their pay up to what's comparable to states around us so that we can get high quality individuals into these positions and keep these medically fragile individuals in their homes, stable, healthy, and happy.
How do you hope the state government will address this?
Well, it's going to unfortunately have to be a budget ask, which, as everyone knows, the budget's very tight. But I think that if we can look at bringing a pay raise to this shift nurse population, that we would be able to decrease the amount of hospitalizations and institutionalizations. So then, hopefully it would balance out a little bit. I think it's really critically important that we take care of the fragile in our society, and giving their caregivers a pay raise is the right thing to do right now. So it is a budget ask. We are going to have to dig deep and figure out where we can cut somewhere else to cover this, but these workers deserve the pay raise, and I think it's critical that we do it now.
We've been speaking with Senator Tracy Pennycuick. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.